Welcome back to Gaming with Spoons. Today we are going to be talking about a Nintendo DS title that is coming to the Nintendo Switch, and that is this little gem of a game right here, The World Ends With You. If you have not picked up The World Ends With You yet, this is definitely a game that does need to be on your radar. Even if you have played it, this is a game that you should seriously consider picking up. Now, I do know that the $60 price tag that is on it is a bit hard to swallow, considering that the DS version was only $40 when it first released, but I do want to go in and talk about why this is a game that I think you should pick up. Now, The World Ends With You is a very interesting game in the respect that when it first had come out back in 2008 in Japan, I think it was 2009 in America, the game received critical acclaim. This was during a time that the Japanese RPG market was not thriving. Critics were left and right accusing just about every game that came out as being mediocre or not fun, and The World Ends With You was kind of the game to break that mold and really expand out with critics. Also, any person who picked up that game during that time would tell you how amazing the game is. There's a reason that this game kind of has a following surrounding it. And what I think made this game stand out the most was its battle system. Now, its battle system was really different for the time. It took a lot of the elements from RPGs that we'd seen before and just kind of threw them out the door to create something new. And I think that's what really helped this game in a lot of ways set itself apart from other titles. It was also one of the first games to come along and really utilize the Nintendo DS to its full potential. Now, in The World Ends With You, you control two characters. So you would control Neku on the bottom screen, and you'd use like the stylus, various swipes, maybe circle, maybe tap the screen to shoot fireballs at the enemies, things like that. Depending on the different pins you had equipped would kind of depend on the abilities that Neku would be able to use, and we'll get into pins here in a little bit. But the top screen was all controlled to your partner, whoever you were bonded with at that time, and you would use the D-pad and press different directional buttons on the D-pad to be able to get them to attack. Now, it did also have the mode that if you didn't use the top screen very much, that character would kind of also go in and kind of autopilot themselves. So it did kind of make that nice, but the game definitely did have a steep learning curve when it came to its battle system, and I kind of feel that somewhat turned off a lot of people back then from potentially playing the game. Now, as I mentioned with the pins are kind of what allow you to use your abilities. Unlike most RPGs where once you learn the skill from an item, or you unequip that, once you unequip that pin, you don't get to use that skill anymore. So you kind of have to find what skills work best for you, maybe what skills fit different situations. It's very much encouraging to go out and level those up. And there's different pins. One might be a spike that you can use through like ice spikes or whatever. I said you can shoot fireballs at your enemies. You'll have ones that actually will heal you that you'll need to use during battle to restore your health. And just kind of different pins that you can go in and equip from there. And some of the pins do give you certain perks in battle. And Besides its combat system, I really feel that its story was very unique in its execution as well. Now, we do have the basic, generic, Neku wakes up, no recollection of how he got to where he was. He wakes up in Shibuya to kind of realize that the people of Shibuya aren't being able to see him, talk to him. He's like, what the heck's going on? Well, he later learns out that he is inside of a game, and the entry point to this game was his life. He doesn't remember how he died. He doesn't remember anything up until that point. He doesn't even really remember a whole lot, and that's kind of the point of what the story is to kind of uncover the past of Neku. Now, along the way, he does learn that in order to, get back to the real world, he has to beat the game. So getting back and beating the game will allow him to come back to come back to, his physical body and return to his world. But if he doesn't, then he's pretty much just lost forever. And in order to get anywhere in this game, you do have to have a partner. A partner is kind of an essential part to the game to basically help you survive. Each person in the game has a partner that they work with. They have an allotted time to go through the game. Each mission kind of has a specific time. It's not really a time system, as you just kind of like travel around from like story to story, and it kind of plays out. There's not like any timer that counts down or anything like that. But it is such a unique premise. Now there's three characters that you partner up with. The third one I am not going to reveal because I want you guys to be able to explore that for yourselves. But the first one you meet up with is a girl named Shiki. Now she's kind of all over the place with she's like really into fashion, things like that. She's my favorite character. She's outright funny, outright awesome, and just one of the most kick-ass characters female characters in an RPG. I absolutely love her to death. The other character you control is Joshua. Now, without going too much into Joshua's story or what's going on, I will say that this is where you start to learn a lot behind Neku. There's a lot of story elements that are going through that are kind of explained inside Joshua's story. So out of the two of them, Joshua's story is definitely more interesting, but Shiki's story really sets up the stakes. And then the third character is kind of the conclusion to it all. And that's all I'm going to say. All in all, The World Ends With You is such an amazing title that you absolutely need to play. Now also, if you have played this game before, but you are on the fence as to whether or not you should pick it up, so let me explain exactly what this game is adding for those of us who have already played this game. So this is going to be a port from the mobile phone version, so it's going to have that same animated style. Does sound like it's also going to add some voice acting, and we are going to get an entirely brand new story that is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch version or the Final Mix version that apparently is pretty sizable in scope, so that's really awesome there. And we're also going to be able to, of course, have co-op with this, as it did say that you would be able to use one Joy-Con to control one character, and someone else would be able to use a Joy-Con to control another character, which is pretty awesome. So definitely really excited to see what all they're going to be bringing with the co-op experience and how that's going to play. There's also the option to be able to play it in handheld mode, the option to play it on your TV, as well as the option to play it on what they call tabletop mode. So I imagine, with just like the gamepad actually sitting on the table. So it's going to be kind of cool to go in and explore each and every one of these. This is a game I will be picking up day one. This is a game I will be doing a full in-depth review on the channel of. This is a game I'm really looking forward to. So you guys can definitely look forward to that. If you haven't already, guys, be sure to hit subscribe there for me to keep up to date with all of my content and check out more videos just like this one. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links are going to be down below in that description box. You guys have been watching Gaming with Spoons, and most importantly, stay happy, be happy, game happy. Spoons is checking out.